comes from Matthew chapter 22. And right before this passage, we see the Sadducees are questioning Jesus, hoping to catch him up. And being Jesus, he answers the question correctly and kind of stumps them. So the next up to bat are the Pharisees. And the Pharisees pose the following question to Jesus, asking him, in the law, which is the greatest commandment? And Jesus answers them with this: to love the Lord your God with all your heart, with all your soul, and with all your mind. This is the first and greatest commandment. The second is like it: love your neighbor as yourself. All the law and the prophets hang on these two commandments. This is something that we've heard growing up in the church. Love the Lord your God with all your heart and love your neighbor as yourself. And so often in my life, I've taken these commandments to say, okay, well, I can love my neighbor, that's easy. But the one that's tricky is to love the Lord your God. So I spend so much of my time focusing on loving the Lord because I think I have loving my neighbor in my pocket. When really the verse says to love your neighbor as yourself, which is a difficult command if you sit and think about it. And it's one that's proven to be very challenging for me. And a way that my eyes have been opened to how challenging this is was through food. I love to eat. I love food because it reminds me of home. I love food because it brings me comfort, especially ice cream. If you know me, I love ice cream. And so a couple years ago, my eyes were opened to how I treat my neighbors in regards to food. It was a canned food drive, and people were bringing in food, and it was wonderful, but someone pointed out the types of food that people were bringing in. People were bringing in the cheapest food they could find, the sauerkrauts and the pork and beans, whatever happened to be on special. And they were doing their good deed because they were bringing in this food. When really, when you think about it, a mother of four trying to feed her kids with sauerkraut isn't going to be the greatest meal. And so we were challenged to think that when we do a canned food drive, instead of making it the easiest and the cheapest food we can find, to really love our neighbor by taking time and sitting down and thinking about what would I like to eat? What would I want to serve my family? Because so often we care for our neighbors, but caring and loving can be two very different things. To care for someone, you can meet their most basic needs, but to love someone means to go deeper, to go beyond that, to sit in their shoes, and to walk with them in that. So as we go through this week, my challenge would be to you to not only care for your neighbor, but love your neighbor, and love them as Christ loves them and as Christ loves you. So have a great week, guys.